Hi guys, welcome back to Malledam. Today we are slightly outside the city centre. So here's our current layout. It's looking already quite good. Today what we're going to do is build the area that sort of is boxed in by these roads and this new train station which I've built, which is called Brabantseweg. So this area, I want it to sort of be like Amsterdam Oud-Zuid, which means there's no canals there, but there's still many old late 1800s and early 1900s houses there, which are very pretty and worth quite a lot. But they cram lots of people into the space. Before we start, let's take a look at what's changed. I started building this garden, but it's getting a bit laggy, so I'm going to change these flowers. I built this little district here to surround the football stadium. So, whoop, what's this? So, when there's a football match on, this fills up a little bit, but it doesn't fill up as much as I expected it to. There's a tram line, which barely anyone takes at the moment. Nobody on any of those trams. In theory, this stop works, but they don't like using it very much. And then there's also the subway, which is turned off apparently. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so apart from that, pretty boring area just to fill in the gap, some industry, kind of like what you'd expect near a stadium. Anyway, today we're going to be working on the area near this tram stop. Now this is De Hallen, very busy tram stop because this is where all the tourists like to park. It's also near this train station, although now the train station has its own tram stop. And because it's so big, it has a cute little shelter, and it has an island platform as well. If you'd like to take a look at this, most tram stops are on either side, or they have islands if they're in the middle of the road. But this one is a special island one I made where the trams switch sides, just so everyone can, stand on the same area. So the tram comes in and switches sides at the end over here and stops to let everyone on. So I think this side of the road will be filled with these American-style tallish buildings. They add a little bit of atmosphere. Look, there's someone sitting at the table outside this one, which is very satisfying. And the rest of it will be mostly buildings which are sort of like, where are they? These ones. They'll be more or less all like this, just like Oud-Zuid. Unlike over here, where it's a bit of a mess, they'll all be more or less the same building. So it should take less time for me to make than the previous ones. So I'll get to work, and I'll let you guys know when I'm done. guys, welcome back. That was an especially long one, almost as long as the train depot construction. But we've built a big city segment here. We've finally built the area around Brabantseweg train station, which means that at long last, we have a big residential area exactly like outside in Amsterdam. So, let's just go on a short bus ride through it, and I'll point out all the interesting and new sights to see, and then after that we'll go on a quick aerial tour to get anything we've missed. So, coming up here, this is the beginning of the new section. It looks fairly normal. It's a bit grey for me, but this, especially like the cafe on the side over there, really breaks up the monotony. I really like it. Here you have, I've named it the BIM house, but I think it's just a random tourist building, this thing here. And it attracts quite a lot of people, so it's good to have the tram and the bus stop next to it. The tram, it used to have a fast route, but now it runs through the streets because that's how it would be in real life. And it also helps to serve this area a little bit better than it was before. It finally... Oh, it's going this way, sorry, I was wondering where the bus was going. It finally is getting a bit of usage, because in the past it has been a bit underused. So here's the station and the bus stop for the station. It's a bit on the outside. The station actually gets a surprising amount of use. No intercity stop there, but all the sprinters do. So anyone wanting to catch a train to Malledam Nord can do it from there, or they can catch a train to the central station, or a metro to the central station, and then change for the intercities there. I might have some of the slower intercities stop there, I haven't decided yet. So now we're heading back along the street, all very normal, surprisingly realistic actually for such a load of repetitive buildings. We have the stop in the other direction. It's quite busy because this is the first bus. You can see this is a building from Rotterdam, this stripy white one, but I think it fills in really well. I added this building with the 145 on it. You see that a lot in the Netherlands, the weird buildings with numbers on the side, which were built in the 60s, early 70s. And so then the bus comes back down here and it stops for the final time before it exits our little new area and goes back into the part which was already built. So, yeah, things the bus didn't show you. This little residential area here, I really like this because it looks like a kind of cozy, rich-ish area where you might want to send your kids to school, which is why I have this school here. It's sort of blocked off from the rest of the city by these tall shop buildings, which are impressive on one side and then very bland on the other. So you do sort of have a grey... I suppose they sort of have the view of the river, of the canal obscured, but it also means that they're not getting lots of through traffic and like noisy tourists and stuff like that. I didn't know what to do with this bit. I think we'll come back to this and the area directly around the tram station. It's very busy here at the tram station now. Obviously it helps that the parking for all the tourists is here. This little area here, I don't know what I'll do with this. It looks quite nice, I think, but it's a bit barren at the moment. I think that might be partially because there's nothing around it, so it doesn't get actually that much foot traffic. Here is the actual neighbourhood. It all looks exactly how I wanted it to. Lots of street parking, the occasional parking lot. The trains running around along the backside, just like they would in real life in parts of the Netherlands. There's a sprinter. Let's see how many people are on it. 91, not too bad. And I guess it's going to stop here. And is it going to pick anyone up? Ooh, 147 people boarding there, so lots of people. This one dropped off 139. Let's take a quick ride through the train station. I always find this entertaining. Quick ride through the train station on the non-stopping intercity. It's very satisfying to see, I think. And it even managed to beat out the sprinter there. I think I need to add some signals, but I'll do that later. So, right now, it's not... there's not enough educated workers, which is good because we just build built these schools, and they've got a lot of takers really quickly. This one's totally filled up. So hopefully that will mean that people start getting their elementary school degrees. But yeah, I think this is really good. It's started to add like a bit of content to the city. Look at that. So now you have this really nice difference between the old town, which is very wobbly and windy, to the slightly newer districts, which are gridded and organized, and the traffic flows a little bit better there. As you can see, it looks like the next thing we'll be doing is building industry and commercial, because that's what's most in need. So, I think I will end the video with something different this time. We're going to ride one of the trains out of the city. Here's one. So we're going to ride this one to Malledam Nord, away from the new development. So I'll leave you with this until we pull in at Malledam Nord. I hope you enjoy it. It should be hopefully an entertaining ride, and I'll see you in the next video.